What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode 131 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, and share the link with your friends, or click in the support link in this episode's description. Your donation of any amount could change a life. If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook of From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. When we come back, we'll get into this episode entitled, Making Amends When That Ship Has Sailed. Welcome back to episode 131 of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast entitled, Making Amends When That Ship Has Sailed. Let me start by saying episode 41 of these podcasts deals with making amends to a variety of people that we have harmed in our addiction, and you may want to go back and listen to that one. This episode is about making amends to our spouse, partner, our grown children, and possibly our parents. So this is a deep one and a hard one. And my motivation for this episode at this time was the guys I'm working with at Tower of Life Men's Shelter in Krugersdorp, South Africa. And guys, I want to thank you for drawing this out of me at this time. And guys, they will actually hear this episode at the start of one of our group sessions before it's published for all of you. So here we go. Too many guys that I work with and too many people coming out of addiction want to go back to the way things were before their addiction, before they lost everything, to return to normal. But that normal wasn't working for you, or you wouldn't have become an addict. Too many guys are primarily focused in their recovery on finding change or transformation solely, let me repeat, solely to be able to show the loved ones they lost in addiction that they have changed. That they feel if their family will only see the change, they'll welcome them back and full reconciliation will happen. But guys, this is rarely the case. So don't spend your time transitioning to go back to your past and do it better this time. If your goal is to go back to the way things were, that means you've lost the lesson you should have learned. It means you're not acknowledging the growth that has happened in you. Embrace transformation. Identify how you have been reshaped, how your thinking has changed. Sit down, make a before and a now chart of what's important to you. Compare what used to be important versus what's important to you now. Identify your new core values. I believe we should find transformation in order to transition forward into a new person that we've become and are becoming. This often can mean a new town, a new job, new priorities, new core values, and a fresh start. And guys, I understand that painfully, this frequently means estrangement from the loved ones we have wounded in our addiction. Sometimes it's just too late for damage control. It's time to be honest with yourself, to realize that that ship has sailed. So work with your coach, your sponsor, or your support system to clearly look at the damage you have done in your addiction through the eyes of those guys and the people you've harmed. Stop living in denial, rationalization, minimization, and blame shifting. Take responsibility for and own your actions during your hectic years in addiction. Work steps 8 and 9. Truly work them to make amends. And remember, this is not a time to beg for forgiveness. I actually advise everybody in working these steps not to even ask for forgiveness. Amends is a time to say, I'm sorry for the way I've harmed you in my addiction. The people that you have harmed need to hear a sincere apology for the emotional stress and strain that you have caused. And just because you've reached the point to be able to humbly say you are sorry doesn't mean they are ready to instantly say, I forgive you. Let me repeat that. Just because you have reached the point to be able to humbly say that you're sorry doesn't mean the person that you're saying I'm sorry to has to be ready to instantly forgive you and welcome you back in their life. So what I'm saying is that your focus of amends should be to initiate healing in the people you have wounded and not to expect an instantly renewed relationship. So after you've made amends, your focus should still be on how to develop and walk in transformed, positive character traits, such as honesty, integrity, positivity, hard work, say what you mean and mean what you say, trustworthy, friendly, dependable, reliable. So stay connected. Continue regular work with your mentor, your coach, your sponsor, your support group. Stay transparent, open, and vulnerable with them. Make decisions from the standpoint of the person you want to be, not the person you have been. And the hard part, guys, and I know this, remember that with some relationships, and often it's the ones we hold most dear, that reality is that ship has sailed. Sure. An example of this can come from the dialogue that I saw in a Chicago Med episode. And if you don't know it, there was a couple that were in relationship and they broke up. And the woman's name is Natalie and the guy's name is Will. So I'll just go through a brief part of the script. Natalie comes to Will to apologize because she's the one who broke it off and she wants him back. But when she broke it off, she told him she would never want him back. So here goes. Natalie says, I was coming to tell you that I'm sorry for the way I treated you and I was wrong. Will responds, it doesn't matter anymore. Natalie says, no, it does, because that's not all. I love you and I want to be with you. Will says, stop. You told me to get out of your life. You don't understand. I did, and it's been good for me. It really has. We aren't good for each other. All we do is hurt each other. There was a time I couldn't imagine a future without you, but I can now. I feel free. Deep stuff in that. Can you apply that to what we're talking about in this episode? Can you see that the hard person on the ship that has sailed may have been a person who at a time could not imagine living without you? And they aren't the ones who walked away from you. You've walked away from them through your treatment in addiction. But now they realize that even when you were together, it was maybe functioning, but relationally dysfunctional. And that all you did was harm each other. And that really, in retrospect, they're saying, we aren't good for each other. And I feel free. Sure, deep stuff. And I think that also reminds me of a song by Carole King called It's Too Late. And I want to go through some of the lyrics here. Carole King sings, and it's too late, baby. Now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it. Something inside has died, and I can't hide, and I just can't fake it. Oh no. There'll be good times again for me and you, but we just can't stay together. Don't you feel it too? Still, I'm glad for what we had and how I once loved you. But it's too late, baby, now. It's too late. Shaw, this is a tough one, guys. But can you reach the point for those people in our lives that the ship has sailed, where as part of your amends, you could say, I now see how I was breaking your heart every day in my addiction. And I have reached the point where I understand your decision to get away so you could heal. And I am willing to stay away so your healing can be complete and you can move forward in your new life. Thanks for listening to this episode of the A to D From Addict to Disciple podcast. If you'd like to join an online group or get one-on-one counseling to help you in dealing with the ship that has sailed, please message me on the link in this podcast or by email at davidfromatod@gmail.com or go to my website www.fromatod.org and click on the contact page. You can also keep in touch with what we're doing in From A to D by following me on Instagram at David From A to D. Tune in Monday for our next episode, and as always, stay safe and stay strong.